Well. Hello, welcome, and good evening. I see we got a weird voice on. Okay, so... All right, hello and welcome. How is everybody? Let's bring this down a little. There we go. I like it. So we got some peeps here. Joykey's here. Doing his thing. Welcome to you, Jesse Vogel. So you got a month left of preparation, young man, for your IGL career to get going. So how's the practice and preparation going? I hope it is going well. All right, so I was supposed to be casting three semi-finals tonight, but one of the teams had something happened and they had to change times, and I'm already booked at their new time, so it's only two. And that's going to be... First up is a 2v2, and then we're closing things out with a 3v3. I think it's tier 4 is the 2v2, and the tier 2, so sort of grand champ level 3v3 semi-final coming up. And fabulous. Did I say hello to Itchizos? I don't think I did. Hello to you, sir. I'm not casting alone tonight. Woo! Which is excellent news. I have Hot Zen Monster joining me. Which is fabulous, so my voice won't be quite as wrecked as last night. Last night, I think I cast the most epic series I've cast so far. The three Dudens up against the Oldies But Gold. It went the full 7 games. The three Dudens rapidly won the first 3 games, and then the Oldies But Gold came back, won the next 3 games. We went to game 7. We went to overtime. 1 minute and 10 seconds of overtime. The three Dudens took it. What a fantastic series to watch. What a fantastic series to cast. All right. Yeah, I know, and he's definitely gonna be more of a permanent fixture with the casting, which is very cool. And I'm gonna get him into the voice chat now. I'm calling him now on Discord, and then we'll get him in, and we'll have ourselves some fun. Bonzo, you old dog. How are you, sir? How are things today? I know that's a challenging question. Sorry, Hot Zen, I'll be with you in a sec. I know it's a challenging question, Bonzo, but how are you? And then on the line is Hot Zen Monster.
Hello. How are you?
I am
Can you
fabulous.
Hear me?
I can hear you. You can hear me, right?
Of course I can. Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm going to quickly check the stream levels. Just talk a little, Hot Zen.
Well, today we're going to be looking at a 2v2 match between Zero Genius and Flexen. Flexen coming in with an 8-0 record, an 86% win percentage, and these are two-man squads. I don't see any third players on the roster, so these are dedicated two-man squads coming into this, like we're calling this it's a semifinal.
It is indeed.
For the Indy Gaming League Spring Circuit, which we are just now, I guess, wrapping up in the next couple of weeks, right?
Yeah, well, next week will be all the final matches get played, starting tomorrow, I think. I know when I say I mean we are going to be casting a few final matches, so that'll be pretty exciting next week.
Yeah. And is it tomorrow? I thought the playoff week started on Tuesdays for some reason.
Maybe it is Tuesday. You might well be right. I do think you're right. I think everything gets reported in by midday tomorrow, and then the next week starts from Tuesday. I think you are correct in that. I do stand corrected, but I got it. Hey, Johannes, how are you? Joykey, I am very good. Okay, so, all right, well, I'm going to set up the lobby and let the teams know that they can get going. And I think we'll start on Manfield. Manfield Stormy, just for something new and exciting. Oh, hold on, I haven't put the team names in. So I think one of these teams is unbeaten. I think it's Phoenix, right? I mean, Flexen, I beg your pardon. Flexen are unbeaten.
Flexen are 8-0. Yep, that is correct.
That's amazing. And that's always a tough one because, you know, to go out in the semi-finals when you've dominated, not lost anything, and then your first loss in the entire league could mean your exit from the league. It's pretty brutal, that.
Yeah, and I mean, these are best of sevens, though. So, I mean, you know, it's not really a single loss per se, but it is a single set of games, a single match, yeah. And, you know, I think that they do well to have it set up the way that they do. You do tend to get a lot more. We get almost as many weeks of playoff action as we have regular season. So, you know, that's just more content and more games for us to cast.
Absolutely. Nice. No, it's fabulous. Hey, Tim, how are you? How are you? And welcome.
So the really interesting thing to me is this Flexen squad. They're very evenly matched as players. I'm going to call them, is it Cabby?
Oh, it's Cabby. It's Cabby. I did find it out the last time I cast. I asked,
Cabby,
I think...
Hanezo, right?
Hanezo, yeah.
Hanezo, okay.
Well, it's always tricky because I asked Hanezo, I said, how do you say Cabby's name? He said, you say it with a bright E. I don't know what that means, but in my mind, that's Cabby. And then I said, and how do I say, and then I said, how do I say your name? He says, as it sounds. So I was like, okay, Hanezo it is.
Hanezo it is. Well, they're very, it's very rare to see, I don't know that this is necessarily true in twos. I don't really play a lot of twos or cast a lot of twos, but these players both averaging over 600 points and over 2 goals per game. That's a pretty impressive statistic.
No, that is very impressive.
Well, and honestly, Pact and we'll just call him Oki, I guess, from the Zero Geniuses. Pact averaging a little over 600 a game, and Oki just over 550 a game. So, surprisingly though, with Oki with the higher goals per game statistic there, a little over 2 goals per game to Pact's 1.8. On the paper, looks like a relatively evenly matched game here.
Well, I mean, their records aren't that far apart. Zero Genius with a 6-2 win-loss ratio, so not that far off. But I'm expecting a pretty closely fought game here.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let the teams know they should be loading into the lobby momentarily, and then we will get going and get rocking.
Oh, so you got your overlays corrected?
Yes, indeed I did. I got pointed in the right direction, which is good. Ichizos, I am a controller user. Well, I'm on PC, but I use the DualSense 5. And in fact, in 2 weeks, the Cosmic Red comes out, so I'll be getting that as well. You know, just because, so I've got a spare. All right, we have the teams in. Oh, Hotzen, you need to join. Damn, hold on a second. Let me give you the details. I've Discorded it to you, Hotzen.
All right.
So you can join us here. Sorry about that. That's a little bit of an oversight.
Slightly, yes. I would like to see the game we'll be casting here.
Absolutely. So we have Oki in the team there for Zero Genius. Now in South Africa, we would say that name oak, like an oak tree. And in South Africa, that's like a bloke, a guy. That's the local word. Like, hey, he's a good oak. So I will call him that. But it's probably oaky. All right, fine. I think we're good to go. I'm going to turn my cam off. Okay.
All right.
Oh, camera's still not off.
Sure. Everyone is still
there
here.
There we go. Camera's off.
Teams are taking
Everyone's in. We've loaded in. Pack Dunker, Oak versus Cabby and Hanazo. Semi-finals. We're at the pointy end here, Hodzen.
Yes, we are.
A nice kickoff there, kind of smashed there by Flexen. So they've got the early attack, the early aggression. Let's see what they do with it. Oh, nice Hanazo coming in, but Pact is gonna get the clear. But they look very right at the outset. Oh, very aggressive, coming in with the demo play, and they look like an aggressive team.
Yeah, so 2v2s is a very different mode from 3v3 in that it's a lot more fluid, and there we see a dunker, Pack Dunker, with the high air dribble here to take
I was gonna say that Flexen had all the early aggression, but I mean that hasn't been much time. It's 33 seconds, but they were facing a lot of aggression. But on the counter attack, there they are. A bit of a defensive mistake up in the air, but either way, Zero Genius with first blood. Ooh!
Dunker Oki with a great pass here too. Like you say, it's such a different mode in how you position yourselves. A lot of people will say this is a really just two 1v1s happening at the same time. But it looks like these guys are higher level players, or players that play together often. And so you're going to see a lot more coordination than you would in a 2v2 played at the lower ranks.
Yeah, but I mean, here we go. We have a rule one situation. Oh, and I think that's going to be I was going to say an advantage for Flexen, but not yet. But we are effectively down to a 1v1.
Oh, wow. The Dunker just missing the flick there, getting a nice run at the goal there, and had a pretty good chance. He just couldn't seem to keep the ball settled as he made that flick and to take control here. Oh, Aneza doing a great job of keeping up. Is it going to be enough? Oh, just barely does.
Well, okay. Somehow the rule one has come to an end, and it is over. The ball now heading toward the Zero Genius net. Cabby trying to bring it up in front. Oki should touch this and will get it away. But that was kind of interesting, and I couldn't tell who was better at the 1v1 there, Hodzen. It looked, none of them looked particularly comfortable in that 1v1.
Well, and it didn't really last. I think we had about maybe 20 seconds of it. I was going to comment that breaking the rule one doesn't seem to be a problem if nobody saw it. It apparently seems to be the case. We don't have any idea how that rule one came to an end, and therefore it will not affect the outcome of the game here.
Well, just for the sake of posterity, I think I'm gonna save the replay and go and check. Oh, okay, demo in the midfield. But listen, outside of the early goal, it's been fairly even.
Very much.
Flexen looking to be aggressive, can't break through, but Zero Genius looking quite comfortable at absorbing pressure and then trying to move forward with the counter as they're doing right now as Flexen scramble back into position to defend.
Yeah, as is often the case in a 2v2 match, you can afford, if you're both sort of traveling together, keeping a tight spacing between you, this is just a back and forth, almost like a ping pong. We've got a 2v1 situation here, and Cabby with the carry over the Dunker, tie it up.
Yeah, so we are one apiece. Cabby doing very well, the solo play. Pack Dunker, I think initially doing the right thing, kind of trying to be patient, stand his ground. But I think he allowed just too much of a run there from Cabby to settle himself and put on a good shot. Oh, but an immediate response through Oak for Zero Genius. The game was leveled for all of 2 seconds. Zero Genius back in front.
Yeah, very much reminiscent of a 1v1 kickoff type of play there. We just put it off the wall, managed to get the pinch off the wall back to himself, and just a nice little light doink to put it top shelf and take the lead.
All right, bit of miscommunication in defense, but Oak does very well to get it out in front. Oh, he comes off the wall, he's missed. This is going to put them under pressure. There's a 2v1 situation developing. The pass across to Cabby. The shot, but Pac Dunker does fabulously. Stands his ground on the goal line, gets the clear.
You know, this is the kind of 2v2 game you love to see. Both teams obviously have had plenty of time playing together, working in tandem, as opposed to what we were talking earlier about it being 2 1v1s going on at the same time. Very coordinated here. It seems as most of the way, although here we have, you know, as soon as I say something, they tend to contradict me. But you're not seeing as much solo play here as you're really seeing coordinated team efforts and attempts to get the ball back and forth to each other.
Yeah, and I suppose
save,
you know we're 9 weeks into this league, so even oh, look at that from the midfield, bit of a pinch. Hanazo going to level things up for the second time for Flexen. Cabby down to Hanazo. Oh, it wasn't a pinch. That was a very powerful shot from quite some distance inside the halfway line.
Yeah, like I was saying, just so exciting to watch guys that have spent the time, know how to find each other on the pitch, create those opportunities. That was a real banger redirect from a tough pass off the wall. I believe it was from Cabby to Hanazo. Oh, and
there we go.
There we go again. Cabby to Hanazo once again.
Nicely done. Cabby doing very well, getting it past one, and then putting Pac Dunker under a lot of pressure, and then the pass across to Hanazo, the finish. So even, you know, in a league like this that's 9 weeks in, even if you started the league with a new teammate, after 9 weeks, oh my word, and suddenly now Hotsen Monster Flexen running away with the game, 21 seconds to go, straight off kickoff. Cabby gets a nice read, pops it up, one of those awful slow looping bounces into the net.
Yeah, it's so tough to find the right line when you're shadowing a play like that. You know, he's probably, Dunker, expecting something a little more powerful to top shelf. And when it just became the blooper, he just ran out of real estate before he could get up to it. But again, the team play here, you notice how Hanazo waits back here. He's kind of letting Cabby go in, see what he can do. They've got the lead here, so they're going to play smart and probably leave. Oh, and just as I say that, the game comes to an end.
Well, I think as you get down to the last 5 seconds, you go, you know what? We might as well push up. What's the worst that could happen? They're 2 goals ahead. So I think that was the decision there. But I think to finish my thought, you know, after 9 weeks in a tournament, even if you started the tournament together with someone you didn't know as a teammate, you know, by now you've had some scrims, you've been playing together. That dynamic must develop, and certainly when you're sitting on an 8-0 win-loss record.
Yeah, and I guess the team play between Hanazo and Cabby here are just a little more developed, a little better than Zero Geniuses has been putting together. But you know, it's a long series. Let's see what happens.
So there's an interesting comment in chat, Hotset. I wanted to run it by you. Ichizo says, lately, high-level 2v2 is only one person doing 1v2 and second demoing the last defender. I don't... Oh, this is so awkward! And awkward becomes a goal for Zero Genius off the kickoff. Cabby, looking to defend it off the backboard, lands up tapping it with the back of his car, which drops it right in front of the net. And he didn't know what to do. The ball was right in front of him with the net immediately behind that. And we've all been there, and you're like, okay, what do I do now? And pretty much it always ends the way that one just ended.
Certainly does. Yeah, and just a tough mistake, kind of a momentum killer for Flexen here. But we'll see how they bounce back. Cabby's smart to leave that ball alone as it came across his own net and see what they can do as he tries to take this out of his own quarter. And he's got Hanazo center there, but not able to get the ball to him.
Yeah, I think Flexen will do just fine. You know, they went behind in the first game, came back. It was pretty even for most of the game. And then in the last minute and a half, they just kind of started to dominate. So I don't think that early goal, that early mistake is going to trouble them too much.
And I don't completely disagree with Ichizo's comment in chat there. It's true. But, you know, you are here, Hanazo banging it up. And again, really nice team play, how he's able to get the ball up and around as Cabby is sort of blocking Dunker out of being able to be effective on defense there.
Cabby making an absolute nuisance of himself in the corner, getting in front of the last defender, making him struggle to get back to the net to defend. That worked out very well, and we are leveled up. So there we go. Now we see how Flexen, now that they've leveled, where did they go to from here? Oh, Cabby's been a little uncertain there in front of the net. The opening mistake there, it didn't look very convincing, but once he did get himself gathered, looking pretty good, right in front of the Zero Genius net. Hanazo waiting for it to come down, but it's going to get over it.
Yeah, Oak did a great job to get up on the backcourt and clear that ball out before there was any opportunity to take a shot. Still seeing, again, even here with this back pass, seemingly a little better team synergy going on with Flexen over Zero Genius, but it may just be nerves. We'll see. You know, sometimes you don't play your best games. This is a kind of a high-profile match, and we tend to see in these matches how it really flushes itself out once we've got a few games gone and everybody's settled in. So it'll be interesting to see how the play styles develop here as everybody sort of settles in and calms down.
It's been amazing for me to be. Oh, what? Oh, that was close. It's been amazing to see the difference as a caster. The difference between a best of 5 and a best of 7. You know, during league play, in a best of 5, a 3-game sweep is not that uncommon. It happens fairly often. But the 4-game sweep in a best of 7 is such a rarity. And it's just interesting to see how much more grueling those additional 2 games are in a competitive scenario.
Yeah, Zero Genius keeps knocking at the door here. And again, for Dunker with the bump play. You know, speaking again to Ichizo's comment there is something to be said, but for that second player going up and trying to be here again, being physical, trying to clear some space.
Oh! And, Oki gets through. Well, there you go, knocking on the door. Eventually, there has to be an answer. The physical play puts Cabby alone in a 2v1, and Oki takes advantage of that to get it over him, down off the crossbar and in. And quickly, just in chat, Lemon, hello, broski, good to see you. Why? You didn't miss the show. That's going to be on Tuesday. And Samuel Ramirez, totally understand. Awesome to have you here for as long as you can be here. And now, back to the game, where for the second time, Zero Genius find themselves in the lead. And Flexen trying to figure out a way to get back into it, and the lead has just been extended. Oh, getting his second goal, the third for Zero Genius, and now they seem to be growing into this this battle.
Yeah, it just feels like Flexen maybe it's giving a little too much space between each other there. Kind of seemed uncertain as who was going to go back to be able to cover that. Let's see how they come out of that mistake. They do seem to be trying very much to get the ball to each other, and you get the sense Zero Genius has picked up on that. And they're doing a great job of cutting passes off from Flexen. And here, Cabby, same idea here, just trying to get control of this ball, get it to the net. He's going to look for his teammate here. Oh! Forces the own goal off of Oak. What a play.
And I do think there was an element of calculation in that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, you know, the intent was more than likely to pass over to Hanazo, but Dunker just there, or sorry, Oak just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, and I have seen several comments by people over the years about the passing plays in twos. It can be very predictable. You know, once you figure it out, it can be overcome relatively easy unless you're quite creative in how you go about the business.
Absolutely. And I think what we're seeing here now is Flexen, they're trying to slow the game down a little bit more. It seems like they're trying to get the ball into the orange half and then slow the play down. And look, Oak kind of like adopting the same style here, the same strategy by slowing the ball down, trying to just take more control. Like I said, once these guys, the nerves sort of wear off and they settle down, we'll see how that changes the style and what tactics they're using. It's a very interesting high ball here.
All right, well, we're down to pretty much the last effort for Flexen to force an overtime here. The last 10 seconds, the countdown is on. Oki's going to hit the... Oh, he does get a second touch, which makes it a little awkward. And now they're out of possession. Pack Dunker, is he going to get the double? He probably would have got it, but it doesn't count. Hits the ground. It is one apiece. So one on either side. We're leveled up.
It's interesting how different it is to cast a twos game versus a threes, which is what I'm more accustomed to. My split screen, Cabby says. You feel like you're a lot tighter on the play most of the time, regardless of how you're spectating it. And the ball movement, you don't see quite as much speed of the ball moving around the field. And again, it'd be interesting to see what these guys choose to do next in terms of strategy. As Zero Geniuses look like they've begun to figure Flexen out. And 9 shots on goal there in game 2.
All right, well, we are leveled up. We're heading into game 3, best of 7, semi-finals. Flexen are unbeaten, so Zero Genius will have to do tonight what no other team has been able to do the entire spring circuit of this division at 2v2, and that's beat Flexen. Oh, what a wonderful play there from Cabby. He saw that Pack Dunker was looking, it was a little bit out of position and kind of struggling to get control of that, and came in, bullied him off the ball against the back wall, gets the rebound. 1-0 to Flexen.
Yeah, brilliant job there to get that double tap off the post. One of the highest percentage plays in the game. So difficult to defend, even if you're in net.
Yeah, we've all experienced it. We've all experienced that, Honsen. Okay, here we go. Hanazo pass into the corner. Back Dunker has it for now, but the pressure. Oh my word, pretty much an open net there for Cabby, and he beans it. Oh, this is interesting. Where does this go?
It's the same sort of strategy that they were employing in the last game, where they seem to be trying now, rather than making those infield passes, trying to push the ball up into the orange half, get control, slow the play down, and then just try to force an error or find an opening.
All right, Pack Dunker looking to control it into the flick. It's high and awkward, but Cabby's up to it. Oki will catch, heading toward net. Hanazo must get a touch, and get a touch he does. They're still under pressure, though. Haven't got the clear, but here it is, and now suddenly that was a fairly threatening clear. Cabby chasing Pack Dunker all the way back, just trying to harass him as much as possible. He's been pretty good at that in attack.
Yeah, and again, even though they're up in the air, you can see that Flexen just continues to keep the pressure on, keep the ball against this orange backboard. Oh, and keep trying the physical plays up front. Again, another shout out to Chizos. You're absolutely right. It does seem as though once the tactic here is to get the ball into the opponent's half, maybe let a ball slowly dribble out off of the opponent's backboard and have the lead man go in and try to make some physical play, a bumper, a down low. They've done it again and again and again.
Yeah, it is a fairly good play when it is done well. The downside, and you know, every play has its downside, but Hanazo, if he got in front of that, he had a clean shot at net, but he loses possession, and now they're going to have to instantly defend again. And this from Hanazo. Oki's going to pop it down off the backboard. Pack Dunker will get it. Cabby doesn't get the read off the backboard for the clear. Pack Dunker gets the read and puts it into the net. We are leveled up.
Yeah, Pack Dunker literally backflipping that ball so softly up off the crossbar. It was an angle Cabby just was not going to be able to get. I don't know if he maybe was low on boost there, but it was just a very, very awkward angle from the field.
All right. Well, this is going to be the pattern of the series, I reckon. Odds it with these teams only inches apart at every turn. It was only in the game one. Oh, Pac Dunker's got an open net here. Positioning mistake from Flexen as they moved forward to find a goal. Cabby missing the rebound. Hanazo not positioned to pick up either a rebound or go back in defense, and they are punished. Zero Genius, one ahead.
Yeah, and then I think you were about to point out the kind of danger, the risk of that strategy. We saw just there, Cabby went up to the physical play, and of course Cabby comes in with the physical play and puts another one in the back of the net to tie it up here in game 3.
Yeah, but that was all down to the kickoff. He absolutely smashed that kickoff. And they were, I mean, it was trouble the moment it left the center spot.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was going to say, what we saw there is exactly what I think you were about to point out, is the risk of that play. It's exactly what we saw where Hanazo had assumed Cabby had the physical bump up front. Oh, such a close shot here. And then Hanazo came in trying to make a play on that bump off the wall and just missed. And as you were very likely just about to point out, that's the risk there, is if there is a miss, it's basically an open net goal for the other squad.
Yeah, if you're going to go for the kill, don't miss. Oh! Pac Dunker is going to put Zero Genius up ahead again. The pass to himself off the wall, he reads it. Hanazo trying to get the read through his little shadowing maneuver, but was a little bit behind the action, and Pac Dunker able to get it ahead of him into an unsavable possession. Zero Genius with advantage, but relatively speaking, a lot of time to go, but Pac Dunker is all over this now. Pac Dunker suddenly catching fire with his 4th goal of the match, and a 2-goal cushion might just do it.
You know, every coach I've ever had, I've ever worked with is, and pretty much any coach any of you will ever work with will tell you need to play ones. The play from Pac Dunker, the flick, kickoff goal, very, very demonstrative of somebody who's put their time and energy into getting good at ones and being able to make those kind of plays. Very much, again, here, he's going to take control of a ball and easily score on an open net. Very much demonstrative of somebody who's put their time in the 1v1 playlist.
Yeah, and here we have Flexen pushing up very high, and they're not making contact with the ball, missing their plays, and it's just instant punishment from Zero Genius on those misses, on those missed plays.
Yeah, now it'll be interesting to see. You know, we're talking about a team that went 8-0 here. I gotta believe they've got more than one strategy to work with. Although here we go again with the demo strategy up front. Oh, and Pac Dunker just able to sniff that out just in between the two defenders and pick the ball out of there.
I'm not sure that the passing play was the right move given there. I mean, the net was open, they were under pressure, and I think that passing play was just telegraphed, and Pac Dunker just getting in, seeing it immediately and getting in there.
Yeah, and again, like you said, if they're going to continue to try to be aggressive and have a leader coming up and bumping or demoing that second man, you're going to have to avert any mistakes at all. You know, just one mistake when you're playing that aggressively. We've seen several instances in this game alone where Cabby and Hanazo, both very far upfield, very much engaged in an offensive pressure situation. And here it pays off. But you got to wonder, with 33 seconds left on the clock, whether they're going to be able to keep maintaining that pressure and tie this up.
Well, they're going to have to maintain it because they're at that part of the game, having to find 2 goals, 30 seconds. They have to push pretty hard. My goodness, wow. And they do right off kickoff. And suddenly it's a 1-goal game with 28 seconds. And you go, wow, they're not that far behind. I mean, literally 10 seconds ago, Zero Genius had this game in their pocket all locked up. And now it's all sweaty and nervy. And I see a level up coming pretty soon. Is it going to be now? It's off the backboard. It's half cleared. But Zero Genius under pressure. Hanazo, eyes lit up, saw that ball pop in the air, but now they're under pressure where they've overcommitted themselves in attack. But they probably have to do it. 9 seconds to go. Someone has to get on this Cabby. Is that, it's going to come off the back wall, but Hanazo going for the demo is not there to take advantage. And I have to say that couldn't have been the right play there. I think it cost him the game. But either way, Zero Genius, the more composed of the two teams, absorbing pressure, putting together plays, counter-attacking on at least 2 of those 5 goals, they find themselves in front after game 3.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And, it's funny that you can kind of now get the sense that Flexen are accustomed to playing very aggressively. Maybe, that can be a very intimidating factor when you're up against, especially at this tier, against a team that's being very aggressive and very physical with you. Let's hope that that's not a one-dimensional situation, because if it is, certainly seems like Zero Geniuses have Flexen's number now.
Yeah, I think it's definitely time for a change-up in strategy, or Flexen are going to be in a bit of trouble. All right, well, here we are, game 4. Zero Genius with the 2 wins. Flexen punching from behind now.
Yeah, and again, all of these touches here, you saw that touch Hanazo out of the corner to Cabby. It still feels like Flexen is playing more of a team game, trying to connect with each other, trying to move the ball down the field in tandem, where Pedunker, I gotta give this fellow a lot of credit. He's obviously played a very large number of ones games, very good with the ball close, and Oak as well here, just slowing down, taking control of the ball, and again, the demo opening up that lane for Oak to just put it easily in.
Well, on the early evidence of the first 30 seconds, Zero Genius have a it's not an elaborate strategy, but it's a solid strategy, and importantly, though, they're executing on it in terms of not doing anything crazy up front, keeping themselves in position at the back, looking for the counter opportunities. And they will continue to do that for as long as Flexen have their strategy of push high up, look for the demos, and that upfront aggression.
Yeah, and here now we say maybe switching it up a little bit. Hanazo laying back. Oh, wow. Cabby not ready. He's very lucky not to have own goal at that.
They got away with one there. Oki doing very well. Hanazo gets the read, gets the 50 in the clear. 2-on-1. Oh, Cabby trying to get it across to Hanazo, but cut out again by Zero Genius.
Yeah, and all the more credit to Pedunker. He looked like he was going for boost in the corner and forced to come back to net and make that 2v1 save on his own at a very low boost. So, wow, really well played there.
All right, the ball is loose and high in the midfield. Cabby gets a touch. It's off the ceiling, heading toward net. Hanazo, he's heading back. He needs boost, and he's left the ball, given up possession. Concerned there about his lack of boost, but he's going to get away with it there. Hanazo going for the bum. Is it going to work out? Pack Dunker gets the initial save, and he turns around in net and gets the clear.
You got to wonder if Flexen is starting to feel a little bit of nerves here. Seen them not quite as tight as they were in the first couple of games, and really not as cohesive as we saw them. A lot more booming clears here, and a lot more. And as we say that, Cabby, the slow roller out of the corner, and Pedunker, I believe it was, just missing, not able to get the handle on this as it comes. Again, that's that one's experience, just jumping across that goal line rather than sticking to the ground as you would normally do.
So I think I think your observation about Flexen is correct, and it is a function of, of one of two things. Either the strategy you have is not working and you're not quite sure what to do about it, or your opposition are not allowing you to play the game you want to play. And I think there's been a bit of a combination of both here that's frustrated Flexen. But having said that, they are now on the attack. If briefly, Cabby putting it high into the orange corner. Hanazo now will get it back. There's been a demo, but it was on the attacker, not the defender. So Zero Genius have time to get this out, and Cabby missed his challenge and leaves Hanazo a little bit under pressure, but he does very well to get the read off the wall. And now Cabby Oh, looking to that the boost steal from Pac Dunker there was fantastic and completely put an end to what Cabby was trying to do there.
Yeah, and it just seems like Zero Geniuses have kind of figured out what the strategy is, and they're just not really allowing those upfield demos. We've had a couple instances, I want to say about a minute ago, of Flexen trying to push upfield for a demo and just not being able to get it. You know, obviously the goal of that strategy to break up the other team, to disrupt any type of rotations that they might have going on. Wow. But there again, like we said earlier, the infield passing plays, when these two are, when Hanazo and Cabby are able to connect and get a little bit of power off the pass, they're able to find the back of the net. Tough shots to save.
When it works, it looks amazing and it's incredibly effective. And it's probably just their percentage of success with those plays that's been letting them down. Cabby off the wall almost instantly, coming from a level game, 1 ahead, 2 ahead, and suddenly Flexen will be feeling a little more comfortable and maybe growing in some confidence and starting to find that play that has gotten them to 8 wins.
Yeah, that was an interesting case. It looked as though Oak was trying to go for a dunk in the corner because he wasn't going to make it back to the net. I'm sorry, he was trying to go for a demo in the corner, and he just left the net wide open for Oak to oh, and Cabby again was a brilliant straight ahead into the back of the net play.
Now I'm trying to make sense of what's happening here, Hot Zen. We saw this in game 1 where the teams were neck and neck through most of the game, and in the last minute 20 seconds, suddenly Flexen scored 3 or 4 goals in that little bit of time, and we're seeing the same thing here. And I'm not sure if it's because Flexen have changed something, or if Zero Genius changed something.
It looks to me, and again, I'd have to look back at the replay to be sure, but it seems like you notice it here, they're moving with very, very tight spacing between them, and sort of alternating back and forth which of them is going to be able to make contact with the ball and push the ball forward. Here you see Hanazo again close. What's odd to me is that we seem to keep having Flexen pushing up into the orange half, and seemingly one of the Zero Genius players not in position, not able to stop these attacks. I mean, ending up in a lot of 2v1 situations. A great example right here of a 2v1 situation. You just get a sense that Zero Genius is leaving maybe a little too much space between each other to effectively stop this very tight formation for the Flexen. They seem to be staying very close to each other, seem to be very fluid in taking the role, and that's a big challenge in a 2v2 game. If you're approaching a play where both of the players on the opposition are tightly grouped together and you can't be sure which one of them is going to make the play, that uncertainty really seems to play into Flexen's advantage here. And they tie it up 2 games apiece.
If the series was decided on goals, Flexen would be ahead. But it's not. It's decided on games. And we are 2-all. These teams are neck and neck. And then quickly to chat, Olaf de Gerrensverdijner. I'm just going to call you Olaf, if that's okay with you. Thanks for coming to hang out. Thanks for subscribing. And then earlier, Noid, who played last night. I cast his game. How's it?
Speaking of 7-game series, we had a real banger on Saturday, too, didn't we?
Oh my word, I spoke about it briefly at the start. It was, I was so hyped for like an hour and a half after that. It was just amazing to watch. And to cast, of course. All right, so Hanazo and Flexen will be feeling quite confident. They had a good run there the last minute and a half of game 4. So they will have a bit of wind at their back, and they'll be looking to carry on that momentum and get a lead here on Zero Genius. And Zero Genius almost getting ahead there through Oak, but the save off the goal line. Cabby now having an attack of his own. Pac Dunker gets a touch, pops it up. A little bit messy, but Oak picks it up and gets it past one. Cabby now looking to get it round the corner in front of the net, but cut away by Pac Dunker. And I think we're going to see a lot of this now. The sort of high-paced, high booming balls back and forth.
Yeah,
Cabby!
spreading out a little bit more.
Yeah.
What a save. Yeah, Flexen are spreading out here a little more. They're not doing. Here's another one of these infield passes. Oh, again, it seems as though they're alternating between a very tight formation between the two of them, where they can kind of get the opposition in the mindset of drawing them toward them, and then breaking off and giving the space unexpectedly to create the opportunity for those infield passes.
And maybe that's a good way to go about it, because, yeah, we saw that in games 2 and 3 where that was the play. It was either a passing play in midfield or the lead man rushes up and tries to get a demo or a bump. But now I think the mixing it up a bit is pretty good, because then that puts the opposition a little bit on the back foot, and they're not sure which of those are going to be pulled out.
Cabby didn't get that reset. I think he would have had that shot if he'd have gotten it. Just didn't seem to get it on the ball. Yeah, and again here, spread out. Very different from the previous game in terms of spacing on the part of Flexen. Seem to be spacing out, and they also seem to have kind of abandoned the more physical demo style plays in favor of just keeping the ball moving between them and alternating, like I said, between those sort of more bunched up moments where they're very close to each other, trying to draw the defense out to the play, and then spreading out.
It was the perfect bump play there, but Cabby not in position to take advantage of the open net. But they do have the lead, but only one goal, and you suspect that is not enough. They're going to have to find a lead, or Zero Genius, I'm almost certain, will level things up before too long.
Yeah, I have to say, the one thing I don't feel like I'm seeing from Zero Geniuses is that mixing up of play styles, and of course, all I have to do is open my mouth and...
Well, there you go.
You tie up at one here in Game 4.
You cursed Flexen with your mouth. Happens all the time. But we are level. We're level in games, level in score, and exactly halfway through Game 5.
Now, it'll be interesting to see. The other thing I'm noticing here, too, is Hanazo really liking to get both Flexen's players now opting to take the ball up the wall much more often than they were. It's funny. I'd be interested on your opinion on this. It seems as though the map sometimes dictates play style. And Neo Tokyo here being a very aerial sort of map, Not sure why that's different, but it sure always seemed to me that people tend to score a lot more aerial goals on this map than on some of the other ones.
Hot Zen, I can say fairly honestly, that's an amazing observation. And it's not one I've paid attention to. And now it's something I'm going to pay attention to. Because I know with my own play, I do play differently on different maps. Generally, it's the darker versus the lighter maps that kind of dictate my play a bit. But it's such a good observation that, and honestly, I don't know. It's not something I've thought to have a look at before.
And Hanazo just missing the bump there. It seemed like he had that. Oh no!
Oh, what
Cabby just got beat there. Cabby a little overcommitted here.
Right wall. Cabby trying to get the read. And a little bit out of position, a little bit in no man's land, and he gets clapped by Oak. And now it is Zero Genius who have the lead and threatening to take Game 5 and have a massive advantage going into Game 6.
Yeah, it's unfortunate they didn't try to do a little more with that ball. He had plenty of space to control there. Luckily, able to get up and get the save, not punished for the mistake. And again here, you see Hanazo up on the wall, looking to try to get the ball up and into the air. You get the sense that they want to keep this ball off the ground as much as they can. Almost as if they think that Zero Genius is not as adept in the air at defense as they are on the ground.
All right, well, here comes Cabby off the wall. Here, does he get the flip reset? No, he doesn't. And he's dispossessed, and now they're in a very awkward position. Oki with no burst. The demo in front, somehow it's squeezed out. Cabby going for the reverse goal here. Oh, but he gets the dunk. Under pressure on Zero Genius, but nicely cleared by Pac Dunker.
Yeah, just 10 seconds to go here.
Oh no!
Oh, that's probably going to seal it.
What happened here? Because Hanazo looked like he kind of had it, and he had a bit of space, but then lost possession completely, and Oak just wasted no time coming in to mop that up.
Yeah, one of those situations, it's the worst case scenario when you're trying to clear a ball off the backboard is to just lose the handle on it and have to fall right in front of your own net. Tough break.
Well, the momentum that Flexen built up in the last game, in the last minute and a half of that game, looked like it was going to stand them in good stead in this game. Hanazo gets the 0-second goal. It's not going to be enough. And it is Zero Genius who will take a massive advantage, match point into Game 6 on Wasteland.
On paper, it was not what we expected. And again, I still have to say Flexen seeming like the more organized, more cohesive team, but just a few basic mistakes that drop off the crossbar for Hanazo, just setting up a very easy open net goal for Zero Genius there. Hopefully, what map are we going to next year?
Say that again, Hotsen.
What map are we? What map are we on next?
We're going to Wasteland. Wasteland Night.
Wasteland.
So, what's your opinion of this map? Is this a ground map or an aerial map?
I think I would point to a lot more aerial plays on this map as well.
Okay.
Just a sort of anecdotal observation on my part.
And to respond to your comments about which is the more organized team and so on, what I think, for me, what I've seen here with Zero Genius is that they've done the basic stuff a lot better. They've just been... Their play is almost a little bit more vanilla. They haven't gone for the flip resets that we see Cabby trying to do, or the weird ass or the nifty passing plays. They're just looking to play solid, and it's worked out for them for the most part.
I honestly had to guess. I would say what I've said, around Game 3. But Dunker obviously is somebody who's played a lot of ones. So things like 50s, dribbling, getting the ball slowed down and getting control of the ball when you have space. All things that you learn by putting a lot of time into 1v1s. And that may be the difference. It's just the individual play from Padunker. Okay, now Hanazo's had enough of my talk. He's going to put this over to Cabby so they can shut me right up.
All right, well, we have Flexen now who take a lead. Pass into the front of the net from Hanazo. Cabby finishes it off. And we saw them go ahead around the same time in the last game. They couldn't hold on to the lead and ultimately losing the game. So they've got to extend here because the way these two teams play and what we've seen here, we're not going to see these 1-goal games or these 1-0 games. There are going to be multiple goals. So I expect Zero Genius to level it up, in the not too distant, unless Flexen can take their momentum and extend it.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. And again, now we've seen Flexen a little more space. Not really sure that they're using any of the strategies that we've talked about now. They seem to just be happy to just relegate themselves back to just playing a straight-up 2v2 game where each of them is dealing with one of their defenders. And so what we saw earlier was their ability to force the 2v1s, or at least to force a situation where there was a passing opportunity with one defender. Good 50 there. And we're not seeing that now. It seems like they've gone back to the demos, gone back to trying to push up and be physical.
Oh, is that an own goal? Oh,
really
down off the crossbar, but cleared away by Oak. Oh, my word, that would have been a moment to cry, but the danger averted. But they're still under pressure. Hanazo now trying to get it around Oak, which he does do. Pack Dunker's awkward. Cabby with the shot, but it's high and off the backboard. And now there's a 1v1, but Hanazo reads it well. And immediately pressure right back on Zero Genius. Oh, but the demo's going to buy them a bit of time as they make their way out. Pack Dunker. Oh, gosh, he did that well, but Cabby is there, but it's not under their control unless Hanazo could do... okay, I'm going to give him credit that he was looking to pass that. Probably not in the direction that it went. but they do still have possession and looking to put something threatening on the Zero Genius net. And it is a slow build-up of pressure. Zero Genius, for the minute now, unable to get it too far out of their half. And Flexen just creeping up, looking for that opening.
Yeah, it's very evenly matched here at this point. A lot of midfield fighting going on for possession, and nobody really getting the better of the others. I think the moment we've arrived at that moment of pure parity between these two teams. It'll be interesting to see if Zero Genius can put anything up here. I don't know that I agree with you. I think that Flexen is now just doing the best to just conservatively keep wasting the time from the clock, try to get this one goal to get him to even up the series.
Sure, I do think that's a dangerous strategy because it can break at any moment. But yeah, they might have an opportunity to extend it down in front. And maybe that speaks to your point. Cabby was not positioned in an attacking place. He was happy to sit back and wait for a clearing shot to come out. He didn't want to be up there trying to push a goal. But now Cabby off the backboard. Hanazo with the finish. And a coordinated team play comes to fruition through the work of Cabby, who takes it from the wall to the backboard. Hanazo right there to polish it off. 2-0.
You know, it's funny, the play before that, you notice that Cabby had stayed back. A lot of this is about where that second man is on the field when you're trying to make that offensive push. And it looked as though they gave the space on the second attempt there for Hanazo to get the ball up on the backboard. And then, of course, then Cabby comes in, closes the distance, and is ready for the drop down. A dangerous 50 there for Cabby.
Dangerous, but they're okay for now. And now Cabby, I think, just trying to keep it in the air for as long as possible, looking to run down the clock. 20 seconds to find 2 goals, and you're not, at this point, you just don't see a way for Zero Genius to come back into this game. With 10 seconds to go.
Cabby looking for a clip there.
Yeah, exactly. Looking to press F8. Okay, are we gonna have a ridiculous 3 seconds here, Hot Zen? Because suddenly with 3 seconds left, the double committed defense, Oak is gonna put one away. And well, Flexen just needs to see out 3 seconds.
If Duncan has his kickoff, yeah, and he does. Oh, just not able to get it. That was probably their best chance. Flexen ties us up at 3. We go to another game 7.
Indeedly. So this is 3 apiece, and I realize my overlay is wrong. I really do need to get better at having the overlay sorted out. So we have 3 wins each. So let me just make sure that is sorted. All right, there it is. 3 all. Oh no, I put Flexen on 4. That's no good.
Oh no. Cabby unhappy with the 3-3 in the chat here.
The what?
That's about as PC as he can. Cabby in the chat asking about the match score being 3-3. Not overly excited about the result.
It is 3-3, right, Hudson? I haven't got that wrong, have I?
Yes, it is. No, I've been writing them down on the paper.
Yeah, no,
here
because we are at
It
game
is
6.
3-3.
Wasteland is 3 all.
Game 6, yeah.
Game 6, yeah.
So we go to Champions Field.
Indeed we do. Okay, so I need to go.
All right, another game 7 here in this IGL semifinal between Flexen and Zero Genius.
Let's go! Hudson, just take the commentary for a moment. I just need to sort
I've got you now. Cabby gets a high ball out of the corner here to try to get the second touch in, and no dice. He does get the boost steal. Hanazo into the corner, just misses that top corner again. Cabby's going to be ready to bring this back around again. And Flexen coming in immediately, applying pressure on Zero Genius. Another demo there we see. Flexen maybe back to the physical play. Hanazo gets the easy clear out. Oak with a shot on net. Cabby gets the clear, but Dunker immediately takes him out of the play with a demo. And the boost grab. Oki's going to have to go all the way back with this and see if he can get it up out of the corner. He doesn't. Hanazo able to center to Cabby, but not able to get the handle on it. Dunker gets the big clear. And as we move into the completion of the first minute here, pretty even match. No score on the board. I've seen the demos come back out again. One of their, oh, wow. An interesting attempt at a joint there, it looked like. Maybe a psycho from Cabby.
Well, do you sense an overtime here? It does. I've always thought of a Game 7 in Champions Field as a 5-minute long overtime. You know, in overtime you want to be aggressive, but you also want to be careful. The whole of Game 7 feels like that often.
It does, and you really have to make the determination as a team going into this game how you want to play it, because this is it. This is for all the marbles. And it's interesting to see, as you described, Zero Genius's style as sort of vanilla, and I agree with you, still effective. I feel like both of these guys as individual players are what's been giving them an advantage, giving them the ability to put points on the board. Even in a couple of 1v2 situations where Zero Geniuses was able to find the back of the net, even though they're not playing that team play style, they're kind of, nice.
I do think that style of play can often be highly underrated. It comes down, if you play solid basics in Rocket League, if you do the basics well, you hit the ball hard, you control the ball well, you will win more games than you lose over a period of time. And I do think that's a solid way. You have the heavy mechanics are glorious to watch and to see when executed well. But just solid Rocket League gets wins.
Nobody knows that better than the 4-time world champion Turbo Pulsar. Not the most mechanically gifted player in the world, but his rotations and his positioning, he's just always exactly where he needs to be. So no shame in playing a good positional game and being smart. And I think that's exactly what we've seen Zero Geniuses do here. Doesn't feel as though Flexen is mixing things up quite as much as they have been. A lot of space between them here. It almost feels like they want these 1v1 challenges, where before they were kind of looking for those 2v1 setups to get their infield passes to work.
Well, there was a 2v1 opportunity there for Zero Genius. They couldn't make it work. It was a nervy, pressured moment. We have had 3.5 minutes of Game 7 Rocket League with no goal. This is the longest period of time we've been through without a goal being scored by either team. And whatever style, whatever gameplay both teams have adopted, it hasn't resulted in a goal until now. The passing play, Cabby getting it past Pac Dunker through the corner, down off the backboard, and then Hanazo having to get something of a double as it sort of looked to squirt out from the corner of the crossbar and the post.
Yeah, and it seems like Flexen has found sort of struck gold with this strategy of just taking the ball high on the backboard, maintaining control just to that moment where they can dump it down to the teammate there, either Cabby to Hanazo or vice versa. And that's paid off for them well here. I think that's the third such goal they've scored in the last 2 games.
They are 55 seconds away from finding a place in the finals of the IGL Spring Circuit, unless Zero Genius can find a way back, but it's now 2 goals. A bit of individual brilliance from Cabby, popping it out from the corner, runs along the wall, finds the moment to jump off, and absolutely clatters it into the top right of the goal.
Yeah, I want to say that's the 3rd time we've seen Cabby score that exact goal. High on the wall at midfield, got both the defenders, struggling to get back to net, and just not quick enough to get the high shot in the top corner.
All right, well, Zero Genius somehow going to find a way back, and I'm not sure they can. They've got under half a minute to find something, and whatever they're going to do, they've got to do it quick. And Pac Dunker looking very indecisive up on the wall, and oh my gosh, they're so awkward. They're running out of time. An opportunity now. He is going to carry it all the way. Cabby comes in and hits the clutch save off the goal line. And that should do it, as Cabby will put away the third for Flexen. And Flexen here on Champions Field will ensure that their unbeaten record of 8 wins, no losses will be extended to 9 wins and 0 losses as they go into the finals, and will hope to end the entire league unbeaten with 10 wins and take the final.
Congratulations to Flexen. I just want to shout out to Ichios, throwing a lot of commentary in the chat, and I got to say I would agree with most of what he said there. But Flexen's aggressive playstyle, they're able to make it work. A lot of credit to Zero Geniuses here, though. Not seemingly not quite as mechanical a pair, but doing a really great job to take those 3 games in a very, very close series. Very well played all the way around.
All right, well, we're almost immediately going to go into the next game. This game was supposed to start almost half an hour ago, so there's going to be no break as we go into our the final game that we're casting tonight, Hotzen. This is a Tier 2 3 versus 3 semi-final.
All right. Just let me grab a cup of coffee and we'll be ready to go.
Go for it. Go for it. I'm just setting up overlays. So you go do your thing. All right. Why has that not cleared? Orange. No, that's not what I want. That's what I want. Okay, good. Let's set up this new lobby. Let the teams know that the lobby's up. And who is the other? I can't remember who the other is. That's coming out. Tech Zone and Mispert. Just trying to find the other. Ah, shit, I need to change the fucking team names.
Is this Zephyr and Zeal?
Zephyr Fenrir and Zelox Gaming. All right, well, let's see if we can get the teams in here. So the win-loss record is Zephyr have a 7-0. Now that's interesting. It's a semi-final, so it should be a total of 8 games. So that's a little confusing. But Zealox have 5 wins, 3 losses. So on paper, Zephyr are the stronger team. Hey, Fenric! Joyke! Max van der Riet! Bonzo's back, excellent. Ichizos. Is it Ichizos or Ichizos? Ichizos. Oh, and he's headed out. Peace out. All right, so we have one team in. We have Zephyr here.
Give me the lobby info there, if you would.
Say what?
Same lobby info?
Same lobby info, exactly the same.
All right.
All right, Joikey, you're just here to support good Rocket League. Rick, it's okay. Greetings, it's all good. All right, so... So Zealox Gaming is iCloudU, Regulus, and Tetris, and they're German and Austrian. A German and Austrian team, whereas Zephyr, I've got their info here as well.
Let's see. It's iCloudU, Regulus, right?
Okay, so yeah, well, Zephyr are all Dutch, between 19 and 23 years old, and all Dutch, a Dutch team. So I could speak Afrikaans and they'd understand some of it.
Who do we have?
Oh wow, Joikey.
What,
So I haven't heard from the other team, so I'm not sure where they are.
Well, this is the 7-0 squad we have here now, right? Zephyr is all in?
Zephyr is all in. We're waiting on Zealox.
Waiting on Zealox. And do we know who's starting on Zealox?
I believe it is...
iCloudU,
Regulus, and Tetris.
Tech Zone, or I guess he calls him Tetris.
No. Tech Zone, I don't think is playing. Tech Zone is not playing. It's iCloudU, Regulus, and Tetris.
Maybe he has a different name.
Yeah, I think he does. I think that's well, it's either Shifty or Scarves.
Right,
One of those two has changed their name.
Gotcha.
Haven't heard back from that captain though. I know they originally wanted to start at 9:30, which was 35 minutes ago. I tried to push it to 10. They said that's a bit late. I said I'd try to get done by 9:45. So I hope it's not a problem. One too many. How are you? Hot Zen is indeed back.
Hello.
So this is one too many from the 5 extra chromosomes. They've made it to the final against Totally Washed, and that's going to be next week. And Hot Zen, well, they want to have two. They want it to be cast on 2 different streams. So you and I are going to cast here, and then I believe Falcon is going to cast on Twitch, which is kind of interesting.
Perfect.
So it's going to be crowded here in the lobby. All right, so we have heard from the other team. They said they're going to be here 2 minutes ago. They said they were going to be 5 minutes. So we're waiting on that. Mipsert. Oh, hold on. Oh, okay, wait. Why are people leaving? Why are there fewer people here now? We have Mipsert. And Clover. Someone's left. Okay. He wants to what? Do some training to stay warm. Oh my word. Yeah, sure, we got time. We'll join in 5. Okay, this is the team that said that 10 o'clock was too late. All right, fine. Well, then you know what? You guys can all go to training. Let's leave the match. I'll remake the lobby in a couple of minutes, so we're not just sitting there. I'll get myself back on camera. And for the next season, Hot Zen Monster, we're actually going to put together something pretty awesome. We haven't spoken about it too much yet, but our shows for casting these IGL and other competitive games is going to be pretty epic. I'm looking forward to that, and that will include you having your camera up here on my stream.
Well, fortunately, because we ran our contest over the weekend, we figured out exactly how to do that.
Indeed.
And I can also have a green screen, so I can feed it that way. And have both of the geriatric gentlemen on screen to ogle and belittle, to make fun of.
The mature and the wise Hot Zen is the wording we've decided to go with.
Ah, okay, yes. Mature and wise.
Mature and wise. We've
I believe if I said that
Having-
to my father, he'd say, "You mean rode hard and put up wet."
Indeed, but here we are. You know, we're mature people fighting for relevance in a world of the very young. Hey, Bonzo.
I never really thought about this in terms of relevance. And I've always been that way. It's just what I like to do, and if it's what I like to do, I'm going to do it. You know, it's we were around when the Atari came out in 1978, and started with Pong, and then made it to the arcades and NES and GameCubes and PSPs and Game Boys and every other thing. I even had a Amiga 500 back in the early 90s that we ran a flight simulator game on that was almost impossible to beat. And they made it that way on purpose. It wasn't a very good game. Had it a barely 16-bit graphics was a big thing back then. And I really honestly believe they just made it nearly impossible to win the game so that you would keep playing it. Well, I feel that way about Rocket League, honestly.
Yeah, well, so here's my question to you, Hot Zen Monster. When, you know, obviously Psyonix knew they had a hit on their hands and Rocket League came out back in 2015. Do you think that they were aware of all the mechanical possibility that would come to Rocket League?
I don't think that and this is going to sound incredible, I know, but if I look at where the pro players were in even 2017 versus where they are here 5 years later, the gap in skill is exponential. And I think that will continue to be the case. I think that at least here for another year or two, we're going to still see people coming up with new mechanics. You know, there's a new wave dash off the curve. I think they're calling it a curve dash that was recently pioneered by someone. Haven't seen it make its way into, you know, higher level play just yet. But that's a great thing about Rocket League. You know, we talked about Turbo Pulse in that last match and how he is just an incredibly gifted player when it comes to positioning and rotations and being in the right place at the right time. I think it's always going to be a balance of the two. You know, it's funny, for all the sort of superior mechanics that Lexin tried to throw at Zero Gaming in that last match, it didn't really seem to be a huge determining factor. It didn't intimidate, and what we really saw and we commented on was the Zero squad really just playing solid positional ball, being where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. And so you're always going to have a balance of the two. I mean, the four-time world champ is not the most mechanical guy in the world. That says an awful lot.
It is, and it's one of those discussions that will never reach a conclusion because there's so many varying opinions. But I'm certainly of the view that it is possible to become a grand champion in Rocket League without ever doing a flip reset or a ceiling shot. Certainly those two mechanics. They're not a requirement. If you can do them and do them well, I think you will advance very, very nicely, and it'll certainly help you. But with solid play, positional, rotational play, I think you could get high grand champ at the very least.
You know, Flakes, who I enjoy very much, and I'm not sure exactly where he's from. He's somewhere in Europe for sure. But he's just done a Road to SSL series. And what was really interesting about it was that he forced himself at each rank to limit himself to mechanical abilities that you should have at that rank. It's a really great series. I can't recommend it highly enough. He's a fun guy. He's used to do replay reviews and be very sort of sardonic with people about their gameplay. And I agree 100% is what I'm saying. It's that you can definitely... He claims you can get to SSL. I think Verge said this. I think several people have said it, that you do have the potential to get even to SSL just with good positioning and mechanics. But once you get into the Grand Champ ranks, it's going to get more difficult. It's going to take you more time to grind through. But it is possible. It's not an impossible task.
That is interesting. Sorry, in the meantime, I'm just chatting with the captain here.
Well, let's see. We can run down. We've got Zelox Gaming Hydras. Nice short name there. 5-3 on the season. Not really high scoring team here. Well, it looks like who we're calling Tetris. And,
we have to remake the lobby. Everybody leave.
Oh no. Okay. Well, it'll be interesting to see. We have another instance of an undefeated team coming up against the team, just like we did in that previous 2v2 match. And again, it may not be what it looks like on paper. We'll have to see.
Well, only I think this is the fourth where there's been an undefeated team, and only one of them have gone on have lost.
Yeah, and you know, you brought it up again in a previous match. In these longer series, it does tend to be the team that is more adept at just doing what they need to do to get the win when they need to do it. That takes the match. You know, you may be able to pick a game or two up off of a team from just small mistakes, so forth. But over the course of a 7-game match, it tends to flush itself out. And that's the reason why I think it's great that this is the way the format is. You really do see a difference, and it just seems like the victory is much more decided when they've had 7 games to determine who is the better team.
Yeah, no, listen, I think it is a proper test of metal, the best of 7. I think it's a very good format coming in for the semis and the final. The league plays great because you're playing best of 5s over a fairly long period of time. You're playing 6 or 7 opponents, so you got time there to be consistent or to have your ups and downs and finish where you probably deserve to be. But when it comes down to it, the elimination, you need that proper trial. All right, so I'm just struggling to get this lobby set up now.
Rick Ray's now saying, I'd be interested to hear. So you got to buy in the playoffs, he's saying. This is Rick Ray from Zephyr Fenrir. That's interesting. I don't know that I've ever seen that happen. There must have been an odd number of teams going into playoffs, so somebody got the better of it. Yeah, due to lack of teams, right. Exactly.
Okay, I think this other team is finally ready and we can get some Rocket League going. One too many. I did see what you said, but let's chat on Discord. That's not how I understood it, but I'm sure we can do something like that. That'll be fine. Bonzo, I'm casting. We've done one series and then one more best of 7 series, and then that'll be it for the night. And Rick, thanks for that. Due to a lack of
Okay,
teams,
so looks like we've got Zephyr here, and now we have Zelox as well.
So we got everybody.
I think we got an extra.
Oh, they've got what the team has a spectator, which both teams have agreed to, so that's fine.
Fantastic.
Let's go.
Right, and this is tier 1, I think, huh? Yeah.
Is it tier
Here
1?
we
I
go.
thought it was tier 2. I can double check that.
Teams in 1 divisions. I saw it in the chat. All right, here we go.
And away they go. Zephyr Fenrir up against Zelox Gaming. On paper, Zephyr are the favorites. This is pretty high level, so we expect some pretty speedy, fast play out there. No worries, Llama. Good to see that you're still around and thinking about it. Thank you. Oh, is this an early goal? It's not. Regulus is going to get the clear off the line. Mipsode looking to get it back in. An open net! Left open by Zephyr! And Tech Zone makes no mistake. From distance, from his penalty box, gets it all the way across into the open net. Zelox Gaming in front.
Yeah, nice bump there to basically thwart any possibility of stopping that shot from far downfield. As Zelox takes the game lead here, 1-0 in game 1.
All right, so it's tier 2 division 4. It's been confirmed in chat. All right, Regulus across to Tech Zone Gaming. That's on target, but the save. Double commit effort, but it does get done. And they do get the clear and an opportunity, an attacking opportunity now for Zephyr.
Yeah, tough spot for Clover there. He had a chance to flick that ball to the middle to his teammates, but couldn't quite get the handle on it. And right away, we're seeing a lot of back and forth. As we always mention ahead of these matches, feeling each other out. I'm not sure if these teams have met during the regular season or not.
I would imagine that they've met at least once, unless there was some kind of awkward, unforeseen circumstances. But if they did meet, you would assume as well then that Zephyr have beaten them at least once.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, just kind of basic play here. Nothing too flashy, nothing too crazy going on. Decent amount of just back and forth here. Seeing a lot of just very standard clears like Clover here out of the corner, trying to take it up the wall, and he gets interrupted by Regulus.
All right, well, this is going to be an opportunity. A miss in the midfield will open up. Clover with the shot. Clover gets it home and will level things up for Zephyr.
Yeah, an unfortunate touch from Tech Zone. We talked about it in the last match when you're making a clear off the backboard. You don't really ever want to drop the ball down in front of your own net if you can help it.
And I'm not sure if he could or couldn't help it, but that's where it landed, and Clover made no mistake. And now that we're leveled up, and now we're starting to see a slight, maybe the beginnings of settling down here, and the teams maybe bringing out their strategies rather than just trying to bang it forward and make something happen as it arrives at your opponent's net. But having said that, still a lot of booming back and forth. Oh my word, I cloud you. Gets a second for Zelox Gaming. Also from distance, both goals, Hotzen, coming from distance where Zelox are spotting that Zephyr have left their net unattended.
Yeah, and kudos to iCloud finding those angles on those big arcing shots twice in a row there, at least around the back of the net. Actually, I don't think he was the first one to get that long goal. He got the tap in.
Yeah, Tech Zone was the other.
Off the drop down, yeah. Up here again. Regulus. Sort of catching Fenric unaware there, out grabbing the boost, not able to get back to make the save.
So all three goals have been, well, look, I mean, there was a fortunate 50 that led up to that goal. but positional errors on the part of Zephyr getting them into trouble.
Yeah, it seems as though they're just a little bit slower here, particularly out of the corners and back to net. I want to just make sure that they're keeping that back post covered when the situation calls for it. And now it just really feels like Zelox is really trying to put the pressure on here. They want to try to run away with this as soon as they can and just seal the deal, get this first game under their belts.
Yeah, well, they say in a game of 7, the first game's the feeler or whatever, and I'm not a big fan of saying that because, you know what, you should be warmed up and ready and be fighting hard from the beginning. But the best of 7 does at least provide a bit of time for you to make the comeback if there have been mistakes early on, or you need to work out speed and positional issues. Fenric is going to get the second, and as we sit here talking as if this game is over, it's down to a 1-goal game, and perhaps now Zephyr settling into their play will become more of a threat to Zelox.
Yeah, it's such a high percentage shot that pass off the crossbar. So difficult for the defenders to do anything about it. You can't really get an angle to get to the ball as it comes to the backboard. And then you've got that hard choice to make, trying to figure out where that second player is going to take that bounce off the backboard and put it in your net. And very, very rare that somebody is good enough to read that and make a stop in that situation here. Zelox trying the same thing, banging the ball off the backboard.
Almost working out there, going wide though. And they are pushing quite hard for a team that's got the lead. And a little bit under pressure here. Is that going to be an own goal? What just happened? Was it an own goal?
I think if it was off iCloud or if it was off of... yeah,
oh,
sure was iCloud. Just got caught with a knee-jerk reaction there. Unfortunate redirect into his own net.
All right, but there we are. We are leveled up with around half a minute left to go, and we're staring down the barrel of a Game 1 overtime in what is traditionally called the feel-out game. And it would be the ultimate, but yeah, Misfit surely will get it in. Yes, he'll roll it into the bottom left-hand corner, and 24 seconds, and suddenly things have just turned from looking pretty rosy to pretty dire for Zelox Gaming. A 2-goal lead has turned into a 1-goal deficit.
Yeah, big credit to Fenric there, getting the bump on the defender to give Mipsert an easy push into the net.
Oh my word, and look at this! Zephyr getting a long distance, unattended net goal of their own. We saw them concede 2 of these. Clover coming out for the clear, and what a connection, what a bang, 122 Ks crossfield.
Yeah, iCloud, you just got caught in no man's land there. You just picked up that back boost, and I think he was assuming that they had possession and went ahead and rotated forward way too far. And I think we can put this one in about 5 seconds on the books.
Well, Hot Zen, this game turned at head-spinning velocity with Zelox up what seemed comfortable. We were talking to each other a minute and a half to go as if it was all done. Zelox had the lock on the game, and then they went from that 2 goals ahead to 2 goals behind. Unbelievable.
Oh, you know, and as we said, these 7-0, 8-0 teams coming into this part of the season tend to be the teams that know what to do when it has to be done. You know, it's something I run into several times with squads of my own where you just can't seem to create the circumstance that they don't have an answer for. And that's the reason why these teams are where they are in terms of being undefeated coming into this.
Well, we've had a glance as to the sort of game Zephyr plays. Let's see how does this continue. Does Zelox have a response? We'll find out fairly soon. But Fenric early on trying to bring around the corner, does well to get past one, but iCloud you will get the clear. The pass into the midfield is going to double touch. It's going to hit the backboard, and iCloud you will finish it off.
Yeah, Tech Zone almost getting the double tap here, and Mipsert, unfortunately chasing that ball out of the net and leaving that top shelf available. And Zelox goes up 1-0.
Zelox took the early lead, or the first lead rather, in the first game, and then ultimately went on to lose it. So they're going to have to keep that in the back of their minds in terms of how they go about promote with the rest of this game. And now an opportunity.
It's interesting to see where. It's interesting to see where the challenges are coming. It seemed early on in this game that both teams were able to push the ball into the corners, and now we're starting to see the challenges being made at midfield. So maybe a little bit of a shift in strategy or in speed on how these teams are pushing the ball into each other's halves. Big demo there at midfield.
That's going to work out. Oh, it's going to go wide. That was the perfect physical play. It opened up the net. The Regulus not able to find it.
I think he's going for a stall there.
Well, they maintain their lead. So far, so good, but this is dangerous. Wow! Texo gets the clear off the crossbar as it was looking to make its way into the net for Zephyr's second. It remains 1-0, and another open net missed there. I think Fenric just didn't quite get the read on that pass as it came into the middle of the field.
Yeah, it seems like Zephyr's having a better time of getting the ball through the corners, not really being met there. Here's a dangerous pass across to Fenric.
This time makes no mistake on getting the touch into the net. Clover waiting for his teammate to position himself. The pass was perfect. The finish, fantastic. What a piece.
Yeah, and again, exactly what I was just talking about. It seemed like early on in this game, and in the first game as well, that Zelox was doing a better job at meeting Zephyr in the corners, like you see Mipsert doing here, and keeping that sort of contention in the corners, where it seems like Zephyr's just now figured out the timing of how to get these balls through the corner and into the center of the field to create these shooting opportunities.
The physical play out there is pretty
unbelievable.
There seems to be a demo every 10 to 15 seconds at least. Here comes Mipsert. Can he get a pass? He gets it down. Fenric trying to get on the end of it. Cleared away by Ike. Clouddew, but Clover's going to pick it up and get Zephyr into the lead.
Great patience from Clover here. He'll take his time, put that shot right in that top right corner. Excellent positioning, excellent placement.
They certainly are a scary looking team when they're getting it right there, Hot Zen Monster. It took them a while to get to it in that first game. Oh, and that physical play we've been talking about results in a goal. Now Regulus banging it forward. Tech Zone brings it down and then completely obliterates the goalie. He was coming out to save it. What an outstanding play. Leveled up at 2-2.
Yeah, well, let's see if that pays them dividends. They seem to have decided to go as physical as is possible here. I thought I might have been listening to a Woody game there for a moment with all the demos that were going on. But it does seem to be paying them dividends. And, you know, Zephyr, not shy to adopt the same philosophy. You got to demo us, we're going to demo you right back.
The demo play is certainly not one-sided. Both teams bringing them out. Both teams looking to gain advantage, positional advantage through those demos. Clover now with the intercept. Fennec with the shot. Regulus with the clear. And now the players certainly settled down. We're seeing more deliberate plays, more determined plays from both teams, both in defense and attack. But look at this. Zelox giving Zephyr a huge amount of space, which just doesn't seem like a safe way to go about your Rocket League.
Yeah, you wonder if maybe Zelox is getting a little nervous here, stacking in front of the net a lot, where we see Zephyr with those wider rotations, a little bit more spacing. Dudes tend to be bunching up. Zelox tend to be bunching up on the defensive end a little bit. Might want to make sure they've got somebody on the backboard as well as somebody in net, just to prevent those crossbar dump down opportunities.
All right, well, we have Clover. Well, okay, getting a dunk, it falls perfectly for Mipsert. Regulus, wow, he just in that replay seemed miles away from it in the end. Okay, TechZone Gaming complaining about ping. Have a quick squiz at that ping. Oh, okay, he's having latency or packet loss issues.
Well, that would certainly explain the stacking up on the net. That's actually a pretty smart tack to adapt if you're basically down one player, if their ping has gotten so bad that they can't follow the game. Not a bad strategy just to wait that out.
Well, it has come back. It does seem to have normalized, so let's see how it all plays out. 40 seconds to go. Zephyr in front, and this will be their second game if they can hold on. But Zelox trying to find a way back into the blue half and away through the defense of Zephyr. Regulus with a miss. Fenric with a touch coming down from on high and manages to put it under the remaining defenders after Regulus whiffed it in trying to clear it.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate miss from Regulus, and you just obvious Fenric was going to have that pinch against the ground as he was coming down off the ceiling. And that may be the end of it here for Zelox if they can't produce something here very quickly.
Well, 17 seconds to go. In all probability, Zephyr are going to have game 2 tied up, and Zelox will find themselves back against the wall going into game 3, trying to find a place in the finals of the spring circuit of IGL. The clock has run down. There isn't enough time for 2 goals. The ball bounces, and that will be that. Zephyr 2 in front.
A really great team play all the way around. I think Zephyr finding their greatest successes once they were able to break through the corners with those drop downs. I mean, we saw several goals where Zelox had a man in net, but as I pointed out earlier, it's such a tough angle to try to thwart an attack from in the net that's coming from over your head. The ball on the backboard, if you don't have somebody up there to defend the backboard, defending those type of shots that are dropping down off the wall to an opponent from in the net, almost impossible. Very high percentage on the offensive side in terms of scoring potential. So be interesting to see. It doesn't seem as though they're able to resist them just bringing the ball down either wall and into the corner for those centers. You really want to see Zelox get some people up on the backboard and active in those corners, as they did really at the beginning of the first game. They weren't having this type of issue. I can't really put a finger on why that's changed for them, but Zephyr not having nearly as much difficulty cracking those corners as they were in the first game.
I do think TechZone is a little bit stressed about his ping situation. He was concerned about what servers we were connecting to at the start. So I think ping issues are an ongoing issue for him, and that can really put you off your game if you're worried about not having the best circumstance possible to play your best Rocket League.
Yeah, and like I said, we saw them stacking in the net there while that was going on. It's the smartest thing you can do. It's unfortunate. Oh, wow. And TechZone's ping seems to have settled down as he takes first blood here in game 3.
2 touches from his goal to the other goal. First with the clear, the second with the shot. Found its way home. Zelox have scored first in every game, but they've not been able to hold on or extend to a point where they become dominant within the game. And I think obviously their first priority here is not to concede a game, but I think if they can, as quickly as possible, to get a second up, put a little bit of a cushion between themselves and Zephyr, might give them the confidence to hold on to a lead for the rest of the game.
Yeah, agreed. And I think both teams now seem to have cracked the code on each other's defense. We're seeing a lot more pressure coming on both ends. Each time the ball is exchanged, we're seeing a counterattack almost the full length of the field. You wonder if maybe we won't see a long ball goal.
Oh, there it is!
Yeah, like we did in that first game from Cloud. But here
That's
now it's
exactly
TechZone.
it.
Obviously, his ping's calmed down. And finding that long arcing shot, Clover just not able to get a touch on it.
But Zephyr playing a very, very high line in attack. And they did get punished for it twice in that opening game. They managed to recover from it and get back into it. But they don't want to fall into that trap of pushing too high up and not having your own half covered.
Well, you know, if it's me, maybe we just try to put one more point on the board and then just be a little more conservative and run the clock out so you can go ahead and get one game under your belt in this long 7-game series.
Yeah, well, a vital game for them to win, but Fenric is having none of it. He's going to get one for himself, one for his team. The deficit down to just one. Nice read off the back wall, and I Cloud You didn't see it coming quick enough to respond and get the save.
That was a really nice angle you got there, rolling sideways with this car for a soft touch on a really, really sharp angle. So well done.
Oh, double commit, and there's opportunity. Regulus is up. It's going to come down off the backboard. The double touch. No one there to receive the rebound. And that would have been nice for them to re-establish a 2-goal lead. But now they've got defensive work. Fenric, dangerous coming forward, but doesn't get the touch he wanted. The demo. Oh, my word. It was perfect. The net was completely open, but not a Zephyr player in sight to finish. And now the long goal attempt. Fortunately, a Zephyr player there at midfield does get in front of it and ensures that they don't concede through a long goal for the 4th time. Oh my word.
That was a close one, yeah. Yeah, it's still feeling a little more even here overall. It just seems like every one of these goals is coming on one individual play. As you like to say often, you know, it's either a mistake or one outstanding individual play or placement of a shot. And that seems to be the difference here. Either team really seeming dominant over the other.
Oh.
Really just, again, a small mistake defensively there on the part of Zephyr.
While Regulus making up for an earlier mistake that resulted in a goal in the last game. Finishes work set up by I Cloud You. They've re-established their 2-goal lead, but still a lot of time. Zephyr don't strike me as a team that are overawed by a 2-goal deficit. They will back themselves to find a way through at least twice, and maybe here is one. Clover, but no. I Cloud You gets the save, gets the clear, and look at this, their net is open. Oh! Clover rushing back desperately, make sure he dives in front of that. I Cloud You trying to be clever, trying to fake. Doesn't get the shot. Oh my word, they're under such pressure. They're having to stretch themselves to get back from aggressive positions to make sure they defend.
Yeah, and we're starting to see that bunching up on the Zelox side again. Wonder if Tech Zone is having those ping issues again. Seems a little flat-footed compared to where he was at the beginning of the match. But Zelox really just need to play smart here.
Look at this. Look at this. Another long-distance goal. Fenric doesn't get a touch, but look at this. Clover and Mipsert on opposite sides of the field. No one covering the midfield and the net. And once the clear is off the backboard, it's open sailing into that net.
Yeah, it seemed like maybe there's some miscommunication on who was third man there. Not the first time we've seen that. You know, it's important. Oh, wow. Well, that's probably going to seal it there. 4 goals. I mean, Zephyr is a very tenacious team, but they're going to have to do some real hard work if they want to pull this one out now with just 1:14 left on the clock.
Well, Hotzen, we were waffling on at the start of this game, or after the first minute or so, about how it was even. No team looked very dominant over the other. And suddenly, a very dominant-looking scoreline of 5-1 to Zelox. But it's
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just... It seems like... It doesn't seem like they've played in a way that they've dominated. But the goals have just come.
What I'm seeing is a lot of mistakes in third man. We've seen Fenric scored on, going for corner boost. We've seen both Fenric Clover and Mispert caught at the midfield. Apparently not sure who had that duty as third man. That's the only way you're ever going to see these long downfield open goals, particularly at this level, at this rank, is just miscommunication on responsibilities and roles, particularly as a third man.
Well, let's not forget game one, Hot Zen Monster. As we were talking here, we were pretty much writing off Zephyr for the game, and then suddenly they scored 4 goals within the last minute and 20, but 3 in the last 20 seconds. Might be a bridge too far, but I'm very keen to see how they come out firing in game 4, because I think they're going to be pretty annoyed with how they've let Zelox score their goals. And there we see another long goal. They're going to have to address that and fix that going into game 4. Otherwise, Zelox are just going to take advantage all day long.
Yeah, and you know, again, it's a third man issue. The third man and Zephyr there just diving in, Clover diving in, really wasn't necessary. He was last man, made that challenge at midfield. I understand we're short on time, so maybe you just sort of abandoned that, but it'll be interesting to see if they can correct that. I'm seeing a lot of errors, particularly with that third man duty. Players just getting caught either running for boost or at the midfield when they should be center, or just basically not being in that correct position as third man to deal with whatever is thrown that way.
Yeah, well, Zelox have got themselves on the board. They have a win, and look at that, 9-12 shots. Zephyr with half of those. Okay, oh God. The ongoing issue of taking screenshots. Okay, fine. Now they got that underhand. Okay, the VOD is also a good idea. All right, Zelox got one back. We're going to at least 5 games, but very keen to see how Zephyr respond here and how if they fix that issue and tighten up at the back.
Yeah, it just seemed like maybe they were getting a little too aggressive on their rotations, and you know, you throw back as last man and you want to push immediately up, thinking that your team's got possession. Seems like several of these goals have just been a miscalculation of that scenario.
All right, well, early on, Zelox getting the first kickoffs. Oh, that's right in front of the net. Regulus coming to finish up. iCloudU is alone, and the entire Zephyr team are descending on the Zelox net to see if they can take advantage. Clover's going to have a shot. He pops it up. Regulus gets a touch away. It's a little awkward, but Tech Zone will get it all the way over.
Yeah, and again, now boomer ball back and forth. These challenges and clears coming out of the corners rather than at midfield. I haven't really seen a lot of midfield play from either of these teams. It's sort of been a back and forth all the way up and down field. One attack, one clear, one counter, and repeat.
We haven't seen, we were talking between games, Hotzen, about mechanical plays and high-level play and that sort of thing, and we haven't seen a lot of sort of flip reset attempts, ceiling shots, the crazy stuff. A few goes at a double touch, but outside of that, it's pretty standard Rocket League.
Yeah, I think we saw one musty attempt. I want to say it was from a Zephyr player when there was a nice lead and not a lot of time left. Clover, boy, nice, he really does utilize that power of the corner of the Dominus here. Just getting good power and good placement. That Dominus just so deadly. At only 86 KP, but you felt like it was maybe a little stronger.
Yeah, I wonder if it sort of hit something on the way in, because it did seem a lot quicker than that. But irrespective, a goal for Zephyr, they're ahead. And of course, it goes without saying that they want to take this down and then wrap it up in game 5. Zelox, of course, with other ideas.
Yeah, and it does seem as though, I don't know if they hear what we're saying here in the commentary, but it seems like they're being a little more disciplined in that third man role. You know, Fenric here back, trying to take control, slow this down, give his teammates a chance to be where they need to be. You know, and with this style of play, just keep that third position. I think that Zelox will have a really hard time finding the back of the net.
It does seem that they're looking to play their aggressive style of play a little further back, more from the midfield than sort of beyond the halfway line, and that I think ultimately will be better for them. Well, it's paying off so far. They've got the goal ahead. They haven't conceded yet, although iCloudU nearly getting able to turn it in there. The double is going to hit the post and bounce away. A little lucky for Zephyr. They survive, but still under a bit of pressure.
You know, and just to speak to what you said about mechanics, there's a lot of mechanics. The wall play from these guys that plays off the wall, very high level. You know, and I know you meant the flipped resets and so forth, but certainly both very mechanically sound teams. Just not those flashy mechanics, as you pointed out.
Yeah, no, they're certainly solid players. And here we go, iCloud coming now off the ceiling. Does he get it? It's done very well, but it's going to hit the crossbar, and Tech Zone can't get the rebound. Regulus now is going to have to do something from a defensive position. And there, Zephyr leaving their net open. And if it was just placed a tiny bit better, they would have been punished yet again at an open net. But they somehow, 2 attempts, they've gotten lucky and held on to their lead. And now it's the turn of Zelok to get lucky. A goal line ball roll, which is then cleared away. This is pretty frenetic. 1 goal in it and a minute and a half remaining.
Yeah, neither team really feeling like they're doing what they want to be doing, particularly on offense. Defensively, a lot of luck on the Zephyr side. You really think Zelox want to look for that third man positioning error again. I'm still seeing it happen, although not nearly as bad as it was before. I think if they just wait this out, be patient, stay in their respective spots, and just wait for that same error, you might see another goal, wide open net from across field, as we have several times previously here.
Well, sometimes it's a struggle, Hudson. You know, you get tunnel vision when you get sucked in and you're completely focused on a game and you're not really aware of the clock running down, and the fact that, maybe now's the time to pull back, take control, slow it down. You know, you just see out the clock. But they are doing it now. They are still being fairly aggressive. They haven't got the second. They don't need it. And now they want to be very circumspect about how they go through the next 20 seconds. They do want to see this out. And there, Mipsert almost getting his team into a bit of trouble there, but it's turned into a pretty good position as he gets to waste another 7-8 seconds off the clock. And with just 1 goal, it looks like Zephyr are going to secure game 4, their 3rd game, and give them 2 bites at the apple to take the series, move through to the final, unless Zelox can find a way back. Our lowest scoring game so far.
Yeah, fewest shots, lowest score. You know, we had a good solid minute in that one Zelox corner where Mipsert just seemed very content to keep banging out 50s and having his teammates cycle in and just keep the ball in that corner. They ate a little bit more than an entire minute off that clock, keeping Zelox from getting any type of a meaningful clear, keeping them trapped in there. You want to see if Zephyr is going to take this. You want to see that third man role really be adhered to and really be respected and prioritized.
Well, let's see. They improved on it last game. Do they tighten up even further now? We are in game 5. No? Yes. This is game 5.
Game 5.
Indeed it is. And away they go.
Well, the physical play coming out again, although it's from Zephyr. So maybe they're just trying to go ahead and be as aggressive as they can right out of the gate here. You know, they did take that last game with a single goal. Zelox not able to crack the code to find the back of the net in that last game. It'll be interesting to see what they try here to crack through this tough Zephyr defense.
Well, interestingly, it was the first game where Zephyr were unable to score, but also the first game where they didn't open the scoring.
Yep.
All right, but they're going to try and open now. Regulus getting it. Oh, trying to get the clear. Clover down off the crossbar. Texo needs to get a touch on this. Fenric better positioning as the third man. buys his team some time, takes it cross field, will put it into the middle. Clover looking for a touch. This is good. Fenric with the redirect. He fires at home. Much better. Wonderful team play from Zephyr. And they are ahead with a minute gone.
You know, you love to see it. It's such a subtle difference on the face of it, but Clover's positioning there, not being too far, not being too aggressive, really was the foundation of that entire play. Beautiful team play from Zephyr.
Well, if they carry on in that vein, they're going to be a tough team to beat. It's going to be very hard for Zelox to come back into it. But yeah, they've left their net open. It's heading toward it. Slow, but it's enough. Regulus will level it up.
And again, exactly what I'm saying. Fenric not realizing that he's third man in that duty, pushing up just a little bit too far. And honestly, Zelox has capitalized on that paradigm to score, I want to say, at least a half a dozen times.
At the very, very least, it has happened so incredibly often. Oh, you hardly ever see that. Both teams have 2 bites at the kickoff and the ball never left the center spot. Unbelievable! Tech zone! And somehow Clover with the dunk gets it out, the intercept, and they survive.
What an incredible pre-jump situation there with Clover, too. Yeah, you feel like maybe Zephyr's feeling their oats a little bit, getting a little more aggressive, but boy, Cloud had about a 5-second pre-jump before this ever happened. And again, Fenric abandoning that third man to come up and challenge, not really buying any time for his teammates to cover him, and an open net goal once again.
Indeedly, the third man, the bane of existence for Zephyr right now, but they are in the position to take the series right here, right now. If they can keep it together. Fenric now will a chance at the net, but TechZone gets in front and denies him. Regulus now. iCloud looking for the redirect. It's down off the backboard. Regulus looking to get behind it, but pushes it wide and towards his own half and makes things awkward for TechZone. And now this is on net. Regulus lands and recovers enough to ensure a clear. So it's pretty high-paced stuff, both sides of the field. Opportunities on both sides. A little bit frenetic, I think, might be the word, where you don't really have time to sort of reset and plan your way forward. It's just reacting in a stimulus response basis to balls flying at you.
Yeah, but I'm starting to see some positional rotational errors again from Zephyr. Like it was Mistbird and Clover, or Mistbird and Fenric running into each other at the midfield just a moment earlier. And Clover throwing some very, very long pre-jumps at plays that, you know, you think maybe don't have the highest percentage chance. It'd be interesting to see if he can settle down here. There's been a couple of opportunities missed as a result where, again, that third man position for Zephyr seems to be the linchpin if they don't keep it solid and maintain their roles. Zelox is going to continue to take advantage of it.
Oh, double commit here. They're not going to be punished. Everybody was out of position for a moment, but Zephyr not there to punish them for it. And yeah, it's a minute and a half to go, and I don't know if Zelox are going to be able to hold on like this, where it's a little bit frantic. But they're doing okay for now. I do think at some point they got to try and control. They're looking to just get the clears and get the ball into the blue half and try and keep it there. But it's not as organized as it should be. Their net is wide open, but TechZone does get back and will get the clear. It's a little. If you're a Zelox fan, it's quite tense to watch. You're happy that they're ahead, but you don't feel like they're gonna hold on for too long, but maybe they'll extend. Oh, the double touch goes straight down. It's bouncing awkwardly in front of the Zephyr net, but they survive, and the differential remains just 1 goal.
Yeah, I can't help but notice, and I hate to be again here. That's a great example. If Clover isn't just trying to go for clips, realizing they've got a 3-1 game differential, and maybe he'll try. He's been going for some crazy pre-jumps, you know, interesting choice of air rolling there on that save, and an unfortunate miss.
Well, they had 2 bites at the apple. It looks like their first bite is not going to get them home. And they'll have one more go at taking the series until we go to a duke out on Champions Field.
Well, this would be game 4, so Zealox can bring it within 1 game, which it looks like they most probably will. You really would love to see Zephyr kind of calm down, maybe play a little bit more conservatively, and just wrap these things up. It certainly seemed like a couple of players on the Zephyr squad going for some big pre-jumps and some maybe trying to get that clip. But now they allow Zealox to bring this within 1 game. You really, if you're a captain, if I'm captain here, my advice, play a solid, conservative game, look for your teammates, and get this last win so we can move on to the finals. If they can do that and not really everything Zealox has put up on most of these goals has been on an error from the Zephyr side, particularly that 3rd man. So it'll be interesting to see if they can sort of get back to playing those traditional roles and taking the responsibility and not going for big clips, but just, hold down the fort here and take 1 more game to wrap things up.
Well, if Zephyr continue to invite Zealox into their half with those open nets, I think Zealox will be quite happy to do it all day and take advantage. And not a bad strategy if that's how they're going to play. And look at this. 3 seconds right off the kickoff. Hot Zen. Zephyr find themselves in front. Oh, clapping the kickoff.
The last man cheated up in expectation and didn't expect the 50 to come off the side of Fenric's car like that.
Well, that'll make Zephyr feel pretty good. Whatever the circumstance, they find themselves in front. But my goodness, so much game to go. Oh no, Regulus is going to miss. Can they finish? Twice off the crossbar and down. iCloud misses. Now it's put wide. Well, when you're sent an invitation like that, you got to be taking them and taking them every time. Those are 3 golden opportunities to put 1 goal away. Neither of them taken. Oh, but maybe now, but Fenric sees the danger and clears it.
Yeah, it's smart to go to the side wall there. It does seem as though Clover, has calmed down a little bit with the attempts at hitting clips now that they know what's on the line. Just a 1-goal differential, so, maybe that's where their heads were, and hopefully now they've settled down. It seems like they have. Just playing smart ball, being conscious of positioning, responsibilities, and roles.
All right, so ball firmly in Zealox side now. The clear is going to be bumped back by Fenric. Regulus, can he find a teammate? Mipsert. Fenric having duty to do there to get it away from the net, and now they clear it out, but only as far as tech zone. iCloud puts it down for Regulus. Can Regulus get off a shot? It's high and awkward in front of the net. Fenric's up on the wall and puts it down and away. Oh, but the way
we really are seeing Zephyr playing a little more conservatively here. Very smart. Quite often, 2 guys back, ready for a defensive stand if it's necessary. So definitely a shift in their play style here, being a little bit more conservative. Clover with a really good opportunity here gets demoed.
Oh,
but
my
unfortunately,
goodness.
I think Fenric read that from the midfield. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm
I think he read it from here.
Oh, he knew it was coming. He just positioned himself. He waited and timed it to perfection as the attempted clear across the net was made, and Fenric was there to meet it and stuff it into the back of the net. Zephyr now with a 2-goal advantage, looking to seal up the series. Right now, the cross into the midfield. Beautifully done. Mipsert bangs it home, and now Zephyr looking like a tough team to beat. And your observation is very valid, Hodson. They have tightened up. They do look like they're like, okay, guys, let's put our heads down and make this happen and do it properly.
Yeah, this is not the same team we saw the last game. I think they really just had that 2-game differential, and just always want to take the opportunity to hit something that'll end up on that play of the week reel, you know?
Indeedly, but here we are in Game 6. Zephyr wanting to take the series right now. Clover does get a high shot, sends it home. 4 goals, and now Zephyr just looking like, well, maybe they needed 4 or 5 games to warm themselves up.
Could be, but by the same token, I'm just seeing Clover taking fewer risks here. Really, I think, leading the squad in this game. And I just want to say that for the record. I know these guys are grand champs. And hey, I admire. Whoa, what a save! Admire you guys taking the time, making the attempts to get those clips. But you know, when you play solid ball like this, obviously, I think we're starting to see what we talked about earlier. These 7-game series. By the time you get to the 7th game, it's usually pretty clear which team was the better of the two.
Yeah, and despite and we banged on a lot about it, there's sort of third man problems in a number of games, and probably the 6 or 7 goals they conceded because of it. Despite that, they are the team with 3 wins up their sleeve and a 6-0 goal advantage in Game 6. Hotsen Zephyr now running away with it.
You know, just watching these guys having shifted to more of a team style, you're not seeing them going for individual plays. This is all just smart. You wonder if maybe they didn't sandbag a little bit, maybe rope-a-dope Zealox into this 6th game by doing the individual plays, whereas here, you know, they're back to business as usual and getting the ball to each other. Making opportunities for each other, and you're not seeing that last man abandon. You're not seeing Cloud going for. I'm sorry, I keep calling him Cloud.
Clover.
It's Clover.
Yeah.
You're not seeing Clover going for those massive pre-jumps, you know. And here, at this point, you just want to kind of bang it out with the boomers, keep the ball up in the air as much as you can, and waste as much time off the clock. I mean, this is,
there you have it.
Even with a minute left, it doesn't seem like there's much of a chance that this is going to turn around for Zealox.
No, I don't think so. I think we're looking at our series winners of Zephyr, who are going to take that slot in the finals next week and be in with a fairly strong chance of taking down this Tier 2 Division 4 championship in the spring circuit.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. It's just as we mentioned earlier, these teams that come into this point of the series, the point of the season, without a loss, just tend to be the teams that know how to change up what they need to change up to take a win when they need it. And we certainly saw this is a different team than we saw in the previous 3 games from Zephyr. Certainly way more cohesive. The teamwork is just phenomenal. And real standout play. I have to give shout out to.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
Yeah. Oh, and he misses. I got to give the MVP's got to go to Clover here, though. He really did step it up in this game to take this match win for Zephyr.
All right, Zephyr takes the win. They take the series. They go through to the finals. Zealox Gaming falls short. They took 2 games. It wasn't enough. Zephyr Fenrir, 4 games to 2. And they remain undefeated. And to your point, winning teams find a way to win when they need to. They can be beaten down, but they figure it out and they come back. And they did this tonight. They are the winners and go through to the finals.
Yeah, and the other thing, percentage on shots, and look at just the assists. 4 assists on the Zephyr side on 14 shots. But, the shooting percentage, a big factor here. And it was a big factor in the previous games as well. Zephyr really pulling that number up a lot higher, 3-7 for Mipsert, 2-4 for Clover, and 1-2 for Fenrix. Everybody right about 50% or better shooting percentage. And when you're putting that number of shots on the goal with that percentage, it's just a foregone conclusion.
Indeedly, and now I've been ignoring chat the whole series just about. Tim Cools, Rick Rays, Max van Riet, Die Melkman. Thank you very much. And okay, I did see you there. Thanks for being here. Good to see you, Renata. And look who's in the chat. Hot Zen Monster.
Yeah, there he is, Mipsert.
How amazing. Okay, Tim Cools is Mipsert. Hey, good game. Well played, boys. Off to the finals.
Never watched this tournament. Yeah, I would say to you, Mipsert, and to Clover and Fenric, that last game, boy, if I was coaching you, I would definitely say that is the model for success. Everything that you guys did in that final game was everything you would, in my mind, need to be able to do consistently to take the whole shebang next week. So best of luck to you guys. Hopefully we'll see you.
Oh, and Rick is Fenric. I did kind of put that together. At some point I realized that, so that makes sense. So if I was your coach, I would give you this solid strategy. Score more goals than the other guys. There you go. That's my coaching contribution.
Yes.
So probably
reminds me when I asked you for tips, Greybeard, and you told me get good.
There you go. Get good, and you'll win more games than you lose.
Oh, it's a solid advice. It really is.
All right, cool. Well, I think that is pretty much gonna wrap it up. So there we go. The 2 series we've brought you. Next week we are going to be doing a bunch of the finals. I'll keep you posted on that. I hope a bunch of you will come and join. And there you go. Mipsert's making a solid point there. He says they didn't use that strategy in the games where they lost. Do you see what I mean? Do you see what? If you had just done it, you would have won all of your games. All right, it's an absolute pleasure, Fenric, casting. And so from me, Greybeard, and my incredibly competent co-caster, Mr. Hot Zen Monster, thank you very much for being with us today. I was going to say tonight, but it's still afternoon for you. And that'll be it. I'll be streaming my regular stream on Tuesday, then some casting on Wednesday, some fun stuff on Thursday, all the usual stuff. If you want to be involved, make sure you hit the notification so you get notified. But that'll be it from me, Greybeard, and Hot Zen Monster. Until the next time, peace! I'm out.
Shall we play a game?